What's up, black people? It's me again, and I'm making this video for educational, entertainment, and for human awareness only. With that, let me get started. Okay, let me weigh in on the Charlie Kirk, wherever the fuck his name is. Clearly this guy was a racist. He spotted a bunch of racist shit towards black people. Now, the reason why I want to chime in on this because I seen something that he said, and it's all over, social media and internet. He says that black people was better off in 1941. Now, I don't know. I see a lot of black people who's, talking about, Charlie Kirk, like he was their savior, and they believe that you black people. Do you really believe that this dude Kirk or whatever the hell his name is had your best interest? No, because when he made that statement that black people was better off in 1941. He was proclaiming who he really was. Because black people, and I'm talking to all my melanated people out here in the world, do you have any idea what was going on in the United States in the 30s and the 40s? Do you have any idea? That's when the Green Book, we had to travel by this thing we had to invent. It was called a Green Book, because, God forgive, we was traveling just on our way back and forth to work, and we had to pass through some racist people. The Green Book was for, to tell us where we can and cannot stop. If you want to turn home to our kids and our loved ones, just going back and forth to work. That's how bad it was for black people back in 1940s and the 30s, the 40s and the 30s, because back then, if you even looked at a white person's side eye or anything, you was getting lynched. You was getting lynched immediately. It wasn't and the police probably the ones who take you to the lynching and let you out. The police will open the cell door and let these people come in and take you out. Just like they did that guy, I forget his name, but yeah, the police let a white mob, into a jail because, they claimed they were scared and let him in and they tore that guy apart. Tore him apart, burnt him up, tore him apart, But this was what Charlie Kirk was talking about. Charlie Kirk was talking about for black people, back in the 40s. There was, homes, even down south. They were in the morning, when you come by, the house is burned. You see, there's no one there. You see bodies hanging up in the trees. This was a regular thing for black families back in those days. We come up in the morning, wake up in the morning, there's whole houses and villages, whole neighborhoods, just, 2 or 3 houses in one neighborhood been burned to the ground and people out hanging. This is what it's like for us. We couldn't even walk down the street or go anywhere back in the 1940s without, being hung or beaten to death, or just beaten up, spit on, Back in the 1940s, these white folks, they had the ability to do whatever they wanted to a black person back in those days and get away with it. Right now, there's still, from the 40s, there's cases where, the KKK went in and snatched people out their houses and killed everybody and got away with it. This was what it's like for us in the 40s. So all you black people who's riding the Charlie Kirk bandwagon, you guys are traitor to your races. You guys are traitor to your race. You're a chump. You're scared of these people. They, in the 40s, was the worst time in American history for black people. If you don't believe me, go look it up for yourself. Drop it in the comments.